Today we're going to see an ordinary man become a NASA legend right before our eyes. We've got to go back in time though, back to 2012, the Mars Curiosity program from NASA. And this ordinary man was Adam Steltzner. And because of the Curiosity, and because of his achievements, and because of his knowledge and technical abilities, this ordinary man became a legend. So let's just quickly familiarise ourselves with Adam. It's a picture of him here, looking very rock and roll and hip. Adam is an American NASA engineer who works for the JPL. He worked on several flight projects including Galileo, Cassini, Mars Pathfinder, Mars Exploration Rovers. He was the lead engineer of the Mars Science Laboratory EDL phase, entry, descent and landing, and helped design, build and test the Sky Crane system. Oh, I'd love to have a chat with you about your Sky Crane there, Adam. Really would. Pick your brains on that bit of kit. I really would. Where are we? The media has portrayed Steltzner, there we are, as a rock and roll engineer. I wonder why. So they've turned this ordinary man into a legend based on his achievements at NASA and of course him being hip and happening. And what was his job? Entry, descent and landing. Bear with me. So let's head back to 2012 and revisit the day an ordinary man became a NASA legend. We joined the action in the control room, just seconds away from NASA's craft, Mars Curiosity, coming in to land on the Martian surface. The tension is building. Everything now is dependent on Adam's landing system. And Adam controls this place like a conductor conducts an orchestra. The only difference is Adam's conducting the NASA data nerds. So let's have a look at the day an ordinary man became a NASA legend.
Constant velocity accordion nominal. Altitude error 5.9 meters.
We found a nice flat place. We're coming in ready for Sky Crane.
Tension's just getting too much.
Down to 10 meters per second. 40 meters altitude. Sky Crane has started. Descending.
Woo!
At about 0.75 meters per second as expected. Expecting bridle cut shortly.
Signal to us, you remain strong.
Tango Delta nominal.
Yep. You feel calm.
Rhythm stable.
UHF telemetry.
Rhythm stable.
UHF is good.
Touchdown confirmed. We're safe on Mars. Time to see.
As you can imagine, emotions running high there. As the numbers have come on their screens, these people have worked themselves up into a frenzy. Of course, they couldn't have done it here without Adam's landing system. And of course now, Adam has gone from an ordinary man to an absolute legend. The way he coordinated those number crunchers was incredible. So let's get to know this NASA legend a little bit better now as we head over to the press conference. Of course, fresh off the back of this incredible success in which Adam's landing system made NASA's achievements with Mars Curiosity possible. So here we're going to get a chance to get inside this genius's mind who no doubt is going to blow us away with a wealth of wisdom and tech regarding this landing system and enlighten us all on how it went down.
The team here at JPL at NASA and around the country that contributed to this spectacular achievement. I can only imagine what incredible data and new understandings are going to be uncovered in the coming days, months, and years because of this success.
A couple of other groups of folks that I'd like to thank that I think we all are thankful for. Certainly this beautiful theater of tonight. the drama of us all being able to experience it together.
I must admit, when those numbers came in on this and were shown on the screen and the CGI images flashed up, I couldn't help myself. I was jumping for joy. My tea went everywhere. I knew something incredible had happened.
Comes through the efforts of the Odyssey project and the Odyssey spacecraft and that team being able to get that bent pipe UHF telemetry to us, unrivaled in the experience for all of us. And
I have to say, I've got plenty of experience in the dip, bent pipe telemetry data world, and it was an unrivaled experience. As you can imagine, the bent pipe telemetry data world is incredibly competitive. So to experience that along with these guys, as Adam has said, unrivaled. Let's just go back and feel it again.
Team being able to get that bent pipe UHF telemetry to us, unrivaled in the experience for all of us. And naturally, the DSN and the X-band telemetry that really allowed us to back that up. So please, a round of applause for our club.
Adam, tell us about the landing.
All right, Greg.
Oh, awesome. This is the bit I've been waiting for, because obviously without Adam's landing system, none of this would have been made possible. So no doubt Adam is going to blow us away here with a wealth of wisdom and knowledge and break it down exactly how it went down. So this should be enlightening, to say the least.
All right, Greg. I can't tell you too much about it. I mean, it looks good. I'm being a little flip. In short, it looked extremely clean. We had, we touched down in conditions that were on the more benign side of our nominal expectation.
On the benign side of nominal expectation. Gotcha.
By the way, I want to preface everything. This is preliminary data scooped with the sieve in the cacophony of the control room during the celebration.
This is pure space pantomime at its finest, blended with some theatre. It's great stuff.
Right? And largely by my good friend Miguel San Martin, who's somewhere out there. Very nominal, remarkably good. Our navigation error was on the low side of our expectation.
So your navigational error was on the low side of expectation. This has been a waffle fest of idiocy as you've exposed yourself and the Mars Curiosity mission for the charade that it is, Adam. Carry on, me old mate.
Which meant that we probably had a good alignment between the celestial sensors and the inertial sensors, the IMU. Our powered flight appears to have been excellent. If my good friend Ben Toma is in the house, is Ben?
Nah, Ben's not wanting any of this, Adam. He's not wanting to get involved in any of this and have you drag him down. This has been terrible, fella.
In the house. We landed with 140 kilograms of fuel reserves out of a total of 400 kilos that we carried in.
Still waiting for the breakdown of the landing. It's just sort of waffle and distraction, really.
Ben worked quite diligently in stretching the tanks at my insistence because I was worried we wouldn't have enough fuel. And so I think I owe Ben a little bit of an apology there. So it looked good, in short. Good and clean.
So it looked good and clean from the numbers on the screen and the CGI images on the screen. Gotcha!
And it looks, at least by my eyeball, that we landed in a nice flat spot. Beautiful. Really beautiful.
What? I have to ask you, what kind of file type? Can you tell us about the image file type and compression that was used to send this very important couple of thumbnails back from Mars?
Yes, unfortunately, I absolutely cannot. If Justin Mackey is in the room, or there's a couple other people on the team who'd be able to...
Again, Justin's not wanting any of this charade. If he was in the room, no doubt he's hiding at the back, ducking right down, cringing.
Whip that out quickly, but I couldn't tell you. Sorry.
A little more than 48 hours ago, you told me you would tell me a secret. Once Curiosity landed. Can I have my secret?
Yeah, what was this? A lot has happened in the last 48 hours. And to be very truthful, I do not recall what that secret was.
I'm going to hold you to this.
That's fine. Maybe I'll remember it.
The unmanned spaceflight website has coordinates for the landing that go down to something like 5 decimal points. I just wanted to confirm with you that you do have those sort of coordinates. And am I reading those coordinates correctly when I see that it looks as though you've landed within 500 meters of the skirt around the mountain? That, I mean, you're really very close to the mountain at the closer end in the landing ellipse, and possibly within striking distance of the phyllosilicate trench.
The man responsible for getting his craft to supposedly land on Mars, we saw him coordinating it. Like a conductor coordinates and composes an orchestra, or conducts an orchestra, I should say. But clearly when questions about his own landing and his own landing system, this man doesn't have a Scooby-Doo, i.e. clue.
I can't confirm that. My estimate, I'm looking for somebody, yes, there's somebody in the audience here who has that in the tip of their...
If there's anyone out there who's part of your team, you can guarantee they're hiding, son.
noggin. We should have soon that estimate, but I don't have it to 5 decimal places. We wouldn't report it to that because we're certain that we don't know it to that.
So let me just clarify. You don't even know exactly where the craft landed, but it was your landing system that landed, but you know it's landed.
And I don't know what the unmannedspaceflight.com estimate is.
Can you tell us at what time Curiosity touched down, Earth received time, and at what time the first image came back?
First of those is 10:39 p.m. The second of those I don't have.
Look at that group on stage there. Shoulders are starting to drop. The realization of this is just a silly pantomime of deceit here. Even the crowd have lost interest and they're starting to think, what on earth here are we viewing? What are we witnessing? What is this character Adam Stelzner going on about? He hasn't got a clue. And they'd be right. This NASA legend doesn't have a clue. Us exposing the whole of this charade for the silly pantomime that it is. Remember, he's responsible for getting that thing to supposedly land on the Martian surface. Yet when questioned, he doesn't have a clue about the landing, where it landed, or how it landed. Yet it was his landing system that got it to land. And we saw him supposedly conducting the data nerds in NASA's control room. Ridiculous. Clearly ridiculous.